right, and here with the latest international film and TV news is Arise correspondent Judita Dasilva, who joins me from London. Hello, Judita.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. All right, so starting with TV, Netflix has released a new documentary about controversial movie star Charlie Sheen, and it looks like he is set to reveal more about himself than ever before. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's, as we said, out today. It's called AKA Charlie Sheen and directed by Andrew Renzi. It's 2 episodes, 3 hours collectively. And even just from the trailer, you see that it's an assembly of a lot of like movie stars and TV stars from his circle who've worked with him over the years, who know him personally. It's also got his brother, Emilio Estevez. He's got his ex-wife, Denise Richards, and it's got his kids as well. So this is kind of like a real pastiche of people that if anyone's going to know about Charlie Sheen from the inside, it's these people in this documentary. So it's kind of like, it's interesting because Charlie Sheen is just one of those people that is so fascinating, but then disturbing, but then entertaining and talented and enigmatic and charismatic, but also really frustrating at the same time. So having a documentary that delves into all the contradictions of this one man who's like been in the public eye for over 50 years now is something that's quite intriguing to watch.
Yes, I must say, like, I've been following up this particular story on the documentary. I think a part that I still mentioned last week or this week, him saying that his addiction to drugs sort of even, should I say, altered his sexuality and preference in men. But I mean, in this era of social media, clickbait and shock tactics, is this film just more of the same, or does it offer something different or a different kind of insight?
You see, for content today, it has to be clickbait generating because that's the language of the era. And Charlie Sheen just happens to be the kind of star that really speaks to that appetite. So it's kind of, he is what he is, and what he is very complementary to the mood of the day. But like you said, it's like when just like the tidbit you just gave, that's Charlie Sheen. Even the last time we saw his very public meltdown where he talked about tiger blood and everybody was quoting him saying winning, that's him. So even when things are very bad, this is someone who should be in a clinic, should be getting help, should be out of the public eye. We can't help but stare and watch. So then you kind of have to ask yourself that in watching this documentary, what does that say about us? Do we feed into all the things that fuel his addiction? Because the more he gives us, the more we watch, the more money he makes, the more he spends it on his vices, then he crashes out again. Then he comes back and the cycle repeats itself. So it's very self-reflective as well as also intriguing and educational to watch this documentary. It's a multi-layered experience.
Yes, multi-layered indeed. All right, so longtime editor of Vogue, Anna Wintour, has avoided questions about her thoughts on the famous movie The Devil Wears Prada. But for the first time, she has definitively answered the question. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so she did this podcast for the New York Times, and basically she kind of just answered it once and for all, because like you said, previously she'd always be kind of vague and say that, oh, it's for people to decide if there's some kind of similarity. But this time she said that when she actually went to the premiere of the film, she was ironically wearing Prada and she didn't know what the film was going to be about. But my eyebrow raises, how wouldn't she know what it was about when it was based on a book written by Lauren Weisberger, who used to be her assistant? And the book was about her experience working for Anna Wintour. So then she went to it and she goes that, well, you know, when she watched it, at the end of the day, it was very entertaining. It was witty. It had Meryl Streep. So it was a fair shot. And she even talked about it to Miuccia Prada. And she said, well, Miuccia Prada came out very well out of the film. And, you know, the rest of it is kind of, she takes it with a pinch of salt that, yeah, it was good. It's good wit, good humor, good entertainment. And, you know, she's fair game.
All right, so but why do you think she's willing to answer the questions now, whereas she avoided doing so for so long in the past?
I think it's because the stakes are different now. We all know that she stepped down as editor-in-chief of American Vogue. She's still chief contents chair for the Condé Nast in general, as well as global editorial director for Vogue. But that position she's held for decades, she no longer holds. So there's a shift in her life in general. So she's probably willing to be more open about it and be more self-reflective. And also, when you think about it, they're currently shooting the sequel of Devil Wears Prada. All the original cast members are there: Emily Blunt, Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, Stanley Tucci. it would bode well for her to seem to have a good sense of humor about it and also be part of the game, because it looks better when you're inside and part of the joke than just the butt of the joke. And for someone of Anna Wintour's level, that's a position she wants to occupy, where she always comes out looking good.
Okay, before we go to DC Universe, real quickly, what are your thoughts on Chloe Mali, the young woman that replaced her, for Vogue, US Vogue? Like, what are your thoughts? People have been saying it's like nepotism, she's a nepo baby. What are your thoughts on, Chloe Mali?
100% she's a nepo baby, but then these are the kind of nepo babies that I don't mind, because she has put in the time at Vogue. She's been working there, but I believe it's 12 years now. So she's kind of been groomed to be capable to take over. Her mother is a famous actress, so that's the whole nepo baby thing. But it's like that there's an incestuous nature towards magazines, movies, fashion, music. But I always say that at the end of the day, I think it was Tom Hanks who said it, this is the family business. So just like you would have someone who owns a shop and then the kids take over the shop, or a cafe, or a Fortune 500 company and the children take over, movies is the same. Magazines is the same. That's the business of the family. So why wouldn't they take over? Because they're groomed to know that this is the entire life that you've lived with your parents. So I do think that she's ready for it because she's put in the time. But hey, if she's benefiting from a little insider trading, shall we call it, I'd do the same if I was her.
Exactly. Thank you for that. All right, so now to the DC Universe under the direction of James Gunn. It's set to put its stamp on the famous character of the Joker, and some details or new details have been revealed. What are they like? What is the details? What are the details, rather?
Yeah, so currently in Liverpool, here in the UK, they're filming the new Clayface movie, which is the next phase. Like this, you know how they did phases in the MCU? James Gunn has devised a similar thing for the DCU, and it's currently the Gods and Monsters Part 1. And so this Clayface movie is going to be an R-rated movie coming out next year, I believe. And in the set, obviously because it's being filmed outside, there are people who will take videos and pictures. And on X, there were some pictures shared where there's a poster talking about let's march against GCPD, which is Gotham City Police Department. And it says join the Joker at the bottom, which suggests the Joker will be a feature within the film. They haven't actually cast an actor yet, but obviously they're floating the most popular villain in all of DC folklore to be in this Clayface movie, which again follows the Kevin Feige model of you kind of interconnect all your characters. That way you create an appetite for whatever will come next, even though you're watching what is here now.
Okay, so perhaps one of the most heated and entertaining conversations when it comes to superhero films is who is the best Joker? So could this new contender potentially enter the conversation? Because we've had Joaquin Phoenix, we've had Heath Ledger. I mean, who do you think will take the crown?
Let me tell you something, Kenan, like if you want to see me fight, I don't know how to fight. I can't fight. But if you want to see me fight, let's talk about who's the best Joker. I will be here all night. I will get very hostile. I'll probably need some cake because it's an epic conversation.
Yes,
so I think James Gunn is smart. He realizes how high the stakes are. That is why we're seeing that he'll tease that Joker is going to be a feature. But trust me, the way we were waiting to find out after, remember, cast your mind back to Batman Begins. And at the end, we see the card being held by Gary Oldman's character of the Joker. For like a year, we were all debating who's going to get the part. They announced Heath Ledger. It's a whole thing. They want the same thing. James Gunn would want the same thing, that by the time they start casting the Joker, it's going to be a thing. And that is brilliant marketing. So who knows? If they get it right, we might see lightning in a bottle again. But, you can't call with James Gunn. You never know the direction he'll go in.
All right, the battle of the Jokers. We'll see. Thank you. Thank you so much, Judita. Great having this chat with you.